We need to focus on the issue of children who are missing 50, 60, up to 80 days of the school year, because I did an analysis of who our homicide victims were who were under the age of 25. And realized that the society and the system's only response was to prosecute those cases or lock people up instead of asking what's going on. I asked, and I learned that of the homicide victims who were under the age of 25, 94% were high school dropouts. When I went over to the school district, I learned that up to 40% of the chronically and habitually truant students were elementary school students, missing up to 80 days of 180-day school year. So I started an initiative saying this system has got to focus on putting resources into helping those parents get those kids to school every day, and we improved attendance by over 30%, which is why when I was Attorney General of California, I created one of the first in the nation bureaus of children's justice, which I named, focus on getting services to children, and in particular, poor children, children of color who was not receiving the benefit of the public services that they should receive in order to be able to live a productive life.
So that was her answer to Craig Melvin asking about how she did the truancy laws and enforcement in California. She obviously didn't pass the laws, but she enforced it and made it a particular avenue of harsh prosecution in California when she was in charge. And her answer was yes, but we improved the stats there, and that improved people's lives overall. I think that Craig Melvin was asking a little bit more about yes, but you seem to take it out on the poor more, and the consequences seem to lay on them. And so she talked about improving their lives. I think that's an important part of the answer and a good part of the answer. She should have also addressed, look, I know, and at the same time, if I was gonna be that tough on folks who are struggling, I needed to be as tough on bankers, and I was, except she wasn't. She let Steve Mnuchin slide. And so that's why she didn't give the second half of the answer. My favorite moment though was when they went to a wide shot and Craig Melvin was up on the screen for a second and he was like this, like.
That was so awkward.
I think he's tired. He wakes up early.
Probably.
But I mean, I don't know. We could go over and over and over about like her issues with that. But yeah, like I don't like the framing that answer. And we kind of get a slightly different answer every time. I wish people stop asking her, but I do not like framing that answer as, hey, I was helping these poor black kids. I was helping them better themselves, because we have got to figure out a better way to help black people than putting them in jail. I would have rather you spent that money buying a bunch of bodyguards to roll around in SUVs and just pick these kids up. Come on, you are going to school every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. They're rolling around like high school coaches do, picking up their kids, then putting parents in jail, because we do that already. There's a pipeline. We're good on that. We're good on putting black people in prison.
I like Brooke's SUV strategy much better.
Because high school coaches do that, like they have parents who are working, they get their kids.
And I wish, sorry, one more thing. I wish somebody would acknowledge for the first time in politics, look, there's upsides and downsides to any action. And I was really worried about the downside, because the downside is we're punishing folks who are not in great shape here. But I was doing it for the upside, and here's the upside of it. It's a more human answer. It gives you a sense of that there was a little bit of anguish over it, and she's not positive that it was the right way to go. But hey, look, it did get these good results. But no, consultants tell you all the wonderful things you did, never admit any of the downsides.
Yeah, I'm waiting on one politician to say, my bad. I'm just waiting on one to say, my bad.
Well, look, on the 94 crime bill, you got a bunch, right?
I know, it's so unforgivable. I can't.
Except Biden. But even Bill Clinton said, my bad, to the 94 crime bill.
I agree with you though, Brooke, and I think that the belief that black people should be punished more harshly, that black people, and I dare to say black people, I'm not afraid to say who is always.
That's who that was about. That was the focus of that. The racism towards that was the focus of that. And I don't care, I am mad at all of them. Absolutely. Every single one of them, forever, because I don't care. I don't care if there is a part in that who helped women, because what about when you happen to be a woman and you're black?
Yeah, no.
And what about people who look like me?
I mean, that's why they brought Craig Melvin
in from the great and powerful Oz seat. They said in that moment, it was like, oh, we got a surprise for you. It's Wofford grad Craig Melvin.
Black questions.
And it was to ask her black questions.
Yes.
And she didn't get, and she gave the answers, the politician answers, but I agree with you. I think that if you're not, you are part of the problem. You're part of the problem for black men being in prison in California, where we had that amazing 3 strikes BS. The poor parents going to jail for their kids not going to school without you even knowing what's happening in the house. And why don't you care what the issue is at the house that's keeping the kids from going to the schools? Like, there was a woman, you did the story here, who was ill. Like, what is it that makes you say, nah, you know what, we gotta spank them, we gotta spank them? How very Republican of you.
So lastly on that, I wanna go back to the Mnuchin thing, because if you were doing an equality everybody, then okay, it's a little bit different equation. But man, and they are asking her that truancy question a lot, which I'm actually kind of, I hear you, they've almost overdone it.
This was a rollback of an answer than she's given better answers before.
Yeah, but I'm surprised by that because I thought they'd be softer on Kamala, and they're not being soft on that. They are really pounding her on what she did there and how she was had gone after poor people, minorities, etc. too much as a prosecutor. But they won't do the other side, right? She let Mnuchin gave her a campaign check. Gave her a donation, and then she let Mnuchin slide on one of the worst financial frauds in all of America. And so you can't tell me that you're gonna take it out on poor people who are juggling jobs and are sick and are having trouble bringing their kids to school, but you're not going to take it out on Mnuchin. And so that's what she should be pounded about, and that's what every town hall should ask her. Why did you let Mnuchin slide? Jesus Christ, it was one of the worst frauds we had, and now he's Treasury Secretary. Do you feel partly responsible for him being Treasury Secretary? Because if you had put him in prison, he wouldn't be Treasury Secretary. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.